Welcome to my Bespoke presentation. So what is Bespoke? Bespoke is a very lightweight presentation framework made using JavaScript. It's a lot like Reveal.js, but it doesn't look plain like Reveal.js. And it was created in 2012 by Mark Dalgleish. So how easy is it? You're actually looking at it right now. The setup was a little bit complicated for me, but the code is extremely easy to play around with once you're done setting up. First, to set up, you need to install Node.js if you're on your machine. If you don't have it, you can find it at nodejs.org. It has a standard installer wizard, but once it's on your machine, it's configured and used in the terminal. It runs on your machine, and it is used by Bespoke to actually build all of the assets for you. I downloaded the Bespoke builder from the GitHub page shown on the screen. Now, truth be told, I wasn't actually positive that I needed to perform this step, but I did it anyway just to be safe. Now, there is a warning here. I did have an issue with Node's ability to actually write the files to my computer. It kept failing, and it really didn't tell me why. But I went online and I looked up the error codes that I found, and actually, Node didn't have any permission within my computer to write files. So we're going to fix that right now. Now, to fix that issue, you want to go to your terminal and start by typing in the command npm config get prefix. And by doing that, you're asking it to find the directory where you can get Node. Now, if the folder comes up as usr/local, then you need to enter the command below. And if it just comes up as usr, then there is a much more complicated fix for that. However, fortunately, I had the easy one. You also need to install the Bespoke builder next. The GitHub page for Bespoke will ask you to execute installing Grunt and Bower and Yeoman and Bespoke separately, but they don't really have the peer files all together if you do it all separately, so you need to do it all at once using this command in terminal. And that actually on my screen looked like this when it was done. You get several progress bars that come across, maybe a warning that something has been deprecated, but it's not really an issue. And then once it's all installed, you'll get a little green message at the bottom that says everything looks all right. Next, you need to build Bespoke, and to start that, you need to make a folder to put it inside. Use the command mkdir, and then you put your presentation name next to it. It does not need to be in quotes. Then you need to enter that directory by using cd and then your presentation directory name. Next, you need to start the Yeoman Bespoke builder, and that will ask you a bunch of yes or no questions about what basic features you want that it can install, and you can add your own later, because Bespoke is actually a very robust library, and it includes, or it has that come with it a lot of different extensions. And this is what my screen looked like when I was answering these questions. I told it what page I wanted, or what I want the presentation to be made as, and it's got the little Bespoke logo there. And actually, that screen you just saw was actually the screens you see are what I used in actually building the presentation you see in front of you. Now, the Bespoke will create a file system in the folder that you told it to. The rendered files will end up in the dist folder. That will be the final files that you would want to upload to your FTP or to GitHub. And the working files that are used to create the distribution files are in the source folder, the SRC folder. That file system looks like this on my computer. You've got Bower components and Node modules, and I didn't really play with any of that. But I did use the README, which helped me figure out how to get the live preview up, and the dist, the distribution folder, and the SRC folder. Now there's a live code preview, as I just mentioned, and you can open it by using the terminal command gulp serve. That will use gulp to serve a live, continuously updating version of your code to the browser. This is very useful if you've got two screens like I do, because it allowed me to, whenever I saved my file on one screen, it would automatically refresh and update on the second screen. To edit Jade files, Jade is actually its own sort of pseudo-programming language. As far as I understand, I'm not really that familiar with it. However, I do know how to do the HTML necessary to create your HTML5 page with it. And style files are that's the CSS equivalent, in this case, to Jade. And they both use a very similar syntax. Syntax for Jade is shown here. You kind of just tell it what the inside of the brackets of the HTML would look like. For instance, at the very top, you've got the doctype HTML, and then you've got HTML, head, the meta tags, title, link, body, article. Really just the biggest advantage, in my opinion, to using Jade, from what I can see, is that you don't have to close the tags. It closes them for you. And it also builds your HTML automatically. And style is very similar to CSS in that it just doesn't use the brackets, really, or the colon and semicolon. Now, I used all of, actually, the images you see here and here are the actual code, the first 32 lines, at least on this one, for my presentation. And it was, like I said, once I understood what I was doing and once I got those problems figured out with Node, it was very easy to play with and change up the template and add slides and, change the bulleted lists around and everything like that. It was very simple.